Let's start off with Travis Hunter. What do you like about him, and what kind of line movement have we seen?
Yeah, and here's where maybe you want to play Travis Hunter to go elsewhere if you think Cam Ward is going number one overall. Maybe Cleveland shocks us all and they go quarterback. I mean, on paper, I do think that the two best players on this draft are Abdul Carter, even dealing with the injury. We watched him against Boise State. He gets hurt, and then he plays against Notre Dame with one arm and still was the best player on the field, and it wasn't even close. Also dealing with the foot injury, unfortunately. I do worry, like right after the draft, is he going to have surgery? But that said, he should be ready for camp. So I don't have too big of a concern there. But Travis Hunter is my favorite player to watch, like maybe in college football history, man. A couple weeks ago, he was plus 650 to go number 2 overall. The case I made for him to go to Cleveland, I know not most people, a lot of people do have him projected to be a DB that plays some wide receiver. I kind of think it could be the opposite, where he plays the majority at wide receiver and then some DB, maybe on third downs. That's the best part about him, though. Just get him to camp, right? You don't really know what he is because he still has to develop his body a little bit. He's 6 foot, 185 pounds. That's what's so impressive. 6 foot, 185 pounds. Like everybody's going to fall in love with Matthew Golden because he ran the 4.340, and you're looking for these speedy slot receivers. But Travis Hunter, I can't wait to see what he is at the next level. Is he an X? Is he a Y? Is he going to work primarily out of the slot? Because at Colorado, 98% of his routes run were from the outside. And that's like the one thing that worries you a little bit. Not the toughest defensive competition the last couple of years in that conference. He could get knocked off the line of scrimmage, but I think he's going to be an absolute stud. I wouldn't worry, is he this? Is he that? I would just, like we talk about sometimes in the NBA draft when it's not a deep draft, get the best player there, figure out where to use them. And I think Cleveland, I think he would be a great pick there, man. They've been searching for a wide receiver number 1 really there forever. They could use some good publicity, and everything tells you this guy's a good kid on and off the field. So I think it would be a home run pick for Cleveland. But now at, minus 280, it's no longer plus 650. I don't think I would bet it because I don't think it's a slam dunk, because I do think that the Browns could go multiple different ways here, quarterback, edge rusher. So I would maybe look for him to go elsewhere. He's not slipping past pick 4, though. He's going to be a top 5 pick in this draft. But I love that we got him plus 650 a couple weeks ago. I thought that was a really good price for him to go to Cleveland, and I think it makes the most sense.
All right, let me ask you a follow-up question on this because I'm really curious. I'm
Yeah.
always thinking about fantasy football. That's always top of mind with me. So, think about Travis Hunter. Let's say, okay, he goes to Cleveland at number 2 overall. You believe that he is going to be more of a wide receiver than a defensive back in the NFL. You're not saying he is going to, completely abandon defensive duties, but he's going to play a heck of a lot more snaps than many people anticipated. So, if that does come true, what kind of value does he have? Is he a wide receiver 3 in a PPR league, like a 12-team format? Or is he going to be more of bench material to kind of wait and see how things shake out? Because I think his variance in average draft position is going to be all over the map. And it's going to be entirely tied to interviews with the coaching staff, the GM, and what the usage is going to be. But until the real bullets start flying in week 1, it's anyone's best guess.
Man, that's such a great question. I haven't really heard anybody even talk about this yet, but that's a great question. So I would probably not draft Travis Hunter. I know I just said that he's my favorite college football player of all time. But again, we don't really know what he is. And at Colorado, so he was pretty much full-time defensive practices, film work with the defensive side of the ball, with the secondary, with the corners. So that's what makes it so crazy. What he was doing, man, is they would just have offensive meetings. He would show up and they would just kind of give him his routes. He would go into the huddle and they would give him his routes. Here's a fly, here's whatever it is, run. And that's what makes him really what he did so remarkable. So I think, yeah, like you said, maybe like draft and stash, maybe like wide receiver 3 or something if you want to get real crazy. But I do think, man, I'm looking at a lot of these comparisons. I think it was Pete Prisco was on with You Better You Bet. All the guys from Underdog who I think do a really good job. They keep comparing him to Justin Jefferson. I can't go there because Justin Jefferson coming out of LSU was one of my favorite wide receivers, along with Jamar Chase, of course, but ever, man, because what he could do in the slot and on the outside. But that's what's so awesome about Travis Hunter. But I don't know about fantasy purposes right away, man. Just in case he's playing limited snaps on both sides of the ball, or they get there and they're like, hey, you are a corner. I mean, PFF has his player comp as Champ Bailey. I don't think you would play Champ Bailey at wide receiver. But it's going to be interesting to see how it all goes down, man. It's kind of like Otani, right? Like everybody was
Yeah.
like, I don't think he's going to last 20 plus starts. I don't think this guy's going to be able to hit. Like that's what Jeff Passan said. I don't know if this guy's going to hit for power. And now he does it all when he's fully healthy. I think that could be like Travis Hunter, the ultimate unicorn. But I don't know about fantasy purposes. I'd probably wait, take him later.
Yeah, I think he's going to be a late round flyer at best.
Yeah.
That's just my gut feeling right now. And of course, my opinion can change based on usage in the preseason, based on what the coaching staff is ultimately saying, and then they're going to be all kinds of blues clues and to his potential usage. So if he has more of an expanded role as a wide receiver, it's still Cleveland. It's not the most dynamic offense. He is somebody that worth consideration, maybe as your wide receiver 5, wide receiver 6, somebody that you can stash on your bench and wait and see how things play out as the season progresses. So that's just kind of my initial gut reaction to Travis Hunter from a fantasy football perspective.